Good morning. Today, 2nd August 2024, we are going to discuss editorials of The Hindu. Integrity is doing right thing even when no one is watching. This is told by C.S. Lewis. What is integrity? Integrity is basically, suppose say, integrity is related to honesty also. Suppose say farmers are protesting and to prevent some miss happening there, so soldiers will be positioned there. They will have soldiers will have reporting officer. Reporting officer tells them to shoot the farmers who are protesting against the government. What this soldier or police will do, person with honesty will directly shoot because he is obeying his superior authority. When a person with integrity such as police or soldier, they will think whether my shooting on these peaceful farmers who are protesting against whatever government rules, so it will impact the decision. So it is about doing right thing even no one is watching, so you should understand it. And there are institutions such as IITs. Professors will be working with integrity. Even our ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, though paying less salary, they will work with integrity for the country. Many of us work with country integrity. They should be involved in our daily life. So without further ado, we will go in articles. First article, it is about money bill. A recent verdict awaits. So we'll discuss this article. In the coming weeks, seven-judge bench of Supreme Court of India, they will hear arguments over critical questions concerning money bill. Money bill comes under Article 110 of the Indian Constitution. The court ruling will have implications for legislation or legislative, judicial, and money bill. Basically, what happens whenever the bill is passed in the parliament? First, it will done by Lok Sabha, the lower house of the parliament, and then it goes to Rajya Sabha, and then it will get subsequent approval. But in case of the money bill, Rajya Sabha approval, it may not go to Rajya Sabha, and even if it goes to Rajya Sabha, their recommendations are not binding on the Lok Sabha, and it directly Speaker is the final authority in deciding whether money bill or not, and then it will be approved. So Rajya Sabha's approval directly bypassed, and several bills have been put under money bills, and then they have been approved under the same thing. So this in the recent days it may come, not at seven judge bench decision will impact basic structure of the Indian Constitution and India's federal constitutional architecture, and the balance between all these pillars with the constitution of division of powers. It need to be seen. In 2019, seven judge bench they gave judgment on Roger Matthew versus South Indian Bank Limited, in which Finance Act 2017 was challenged. What is this Finance Act? The act was passed by putting it as a money bill, and it this basically done, jurisdiction and authority of 26 different tribunals. So some of these tribunals merged together, some of them they changed their qualification and imposed stipulations, their service and all. In Roger Matthew, petitioners argued the changes were too expensive to meet require money bill. Money bills basically, to meet as a money bill, there are certain criteria are there. To turn bill into a law or act, it must be approved by both the houses of the parliament. But Article 109 states, Article 109 of the Indian Constitution allows money bill to be enacted only by the Lok Sabha approval. Rajya Sabha's approval is not at all required. Rajya Sabha's recommendation may or may not be considered, and Article 110, Clause 1 defines money bill, and it creates huge issue between the two houses of the parliament. There are list of the things which are to be qualified to put under money bill. Suppose say imposition or abolition of tax, regulation or borrowing of money, appropriation of cash from consolidated fund of India, any other matter incidental to these subjects will be defined as a money bill. However, apart from all these provisions, money bill, they will include just one part of these issues, and rest of the thing they will just keep on altering by putting under money bill. That's what article says. And article 110 clause 3 even states that a speaker of the Lok Sabha decision will be final in determining whether the legislation is money bill or not. In simple terms, only the means of that bill. Suppose a money bill, only by including these things, it cannot be deemed as a money bill. Even never qualify as a money bill. But Finance Act 2017, they sought to do every year at the beginning. The Finance Act will be passed to make state fiscal plans. The law made many changes which are not incidental to money bill, such as in case of the recent judicial justice. So this functioning of tribunals, the process and principle in which the maintenance of judiciary should function, all these things will hamper judicial independence. National Judicial Appointment Commission, it was formulated once by Parliament and it was struck under 100th Constitutional Amendment Act. So it is against the basic structure of the Constitution, like that uh, Supreme Court cancelled it. Basically, it is struck and made it null and void. This law, apart from it granted a union executive, basically the ministers, many other powers to make things to under money bill. However, Finance Act had elements that were touching Articles 10 subjects, that what we discussed, consolidated of fund of India, whether you are making money and all these things. The salaries payable to members of the Tribunal of from Constitutional Fund of India, Consolidated Fund of India, it basically qualifies under money bill. However, except from these clauses, several things were discussed. This also encroached areas well beyond that was mentioned in Article 110, Clause 1. In many ways, court job in Roger Matthew, this has been simple enough. Under no circumstances could challenge money bill to terms of office, conferral of executive with without any restriction to power, huge legislative powers. All these things come out of purview of the money bill. So under these circumstances, it is evident that this Finance Act 2017, it is a colorable exercise in the name of money bill. They are doing something else. That's what article says. So majority of 5 judge bench constrained by this precedent. In case Puttaswamy versus Union of India, right to privacy judgment came after case Puttaswamy versus Union of India. Aadhaar Act came and Aadhaar Act was challenged based on this ground because it failed to provide the Aadhaar Act also included under money bill. How? One of Justice A.K. Sikri, he told Section 7 of Aadhaar Act concerned about subsidies, benefits, services that was incurred from Consolidated Fund of India that met under a money bill. That is okay. But what they failed to account was there are range of enrollment of schemes based on demographic biometric information, obtaining consent from individuals before information is being collected, creation of offences and penalties, establishment of statutory authorities. All these things comes out of money bill. They put one clause, only clause in the Article 110, one of the money bill, and rest of the things are being added. These factors, they just scarcely, they comes out of this Article 110. Now it is the time that the 7 judge bench consider the implication of the word only, and any decisions will have enormous consequences in the future days. And even Justice Chandrachud also noted that Rajya Sabha, as we know, it represents the states, even it represents our nation. So, implementing the decisions taken in the Rajya Sabha, their opinions will definitely matter, and ultimately, the money is being spent from Consolidated Fund of India, and everyone has a right to do. So, it is high time that the decision must involve democratic standard and within the constitutional limit. The next article is about UK and India history. UK and India are two democracies. India is world largest democracies. Recently, they had gone for election and they made path-breaking result. Narendra Modi became second leader in Indian history in annals of Indian history to win a third consecutive term. In July, Labour Party under Sir Keir Starmer, they also achieved a landslide victory in United Kingdom. Hence, the new chapter between India-UK partnership, there is a positive signals that UK government's collaboration with India. Labour Party pledged to pursue new strategic partnership with India. There are several issues, several areas are there where we can engage. One is free trade agreement, deepening cooperation on security, technology, climate change, and education. UK's Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Affairs. He visited India within 1 month of taking office. The 2030 roadmap, there was discussion. Even bilateral trade between two countries, it stands at 39 billion euros in 2023. Both countries investing significantly in each other's economy, employing around 8 lakh people between both countries currently. Now, the author is calling for new roadmap 2047 to unlock more beneficial for this partnership. India is a globally position and its position is undisputed. Recently, in 2023, India successfully commenced its G20 presidency and there was a remarkable moon landing by our ISRO team. Digital infrastructure is growing in India and India is becoming world third largest economy. These are all things demonstrate India's global position is undisputed. Author belongs to UK India Business Council. This will help UK and its companies to understand better and update how Indian opportunity. India is not only a simple market of a strategic, it is a strategic partner in the research and development chain, technology chain, talent chain, supply chain. There is a message in which UK is convening to new government in UK. They must prioritize India and forge equal partnership, creating jobs, prosperity in both countries. Fifth, FTA. This is a game changer. When FTA will be signed, this will definitely help. New structure we can build and technology R&D collaboration can happen. India's best return on investment per dollar spent in the world when it comes to research and development. ISRO is a major example. Every year there is a less allocation for ISRO, but ISRO works beyond expectation and delivers the objectives. Indian firms are eagerly participate, waiting to work with United Kingdom companies and also to work with world-class universities. We can go big there if India and UK can collaborate. So basically, there can be wonders. There can be many things can be done. The two countries have long-standing healthcare partnership. Life-saving vaccines can be addressed to address the global challenge. UK and India clinical trials can be established. So this will enhance research and support knowledge transfer. UK is investing to support innovative sustainable technology and British banks are able to provide billions in climate financing to India. Our university members from UK, they are collaborating with Indian university. Partnership with Indian university through innovative transformational education routes can help world-class higher education in India. Last year, there was a government-to-government agreement to collaborate on science and technology pointways. UK, India are natural partners in defense and security, yet there is a 2.5 market share. India is focused on indigenization, that is called Atmanirbharta, building reliable defense technology, supply chains, securing access to critical technology, increasing exports, critical domestic manufacturing. All these are parts of defense and security agreement. If India signs with UK, it will definitely help. UK mature and sophisticated defense industry can support this mission. Recently, Rajnath Singh, Ministry of Defense, visited UK in January 2024. It was done first time in 2020, 22 years, and it indicates the momentum is rising. There is a cooperation between the two countries. Mobility is another area where the countries can seamlessly align. There is students and skilled professionals that are growing between the two countries, UK and India. 3,50,000 visas have been issued to Indian nationals for work, education, and their dependents. This champions cause of living bridge. These are just a tip of the iceberg. There are many such to reap benefits from potential economic partnership between UK and India. There is a vast potential for UK and India economic partnership. UK and India will become business environment reforms. India need to make a lot of business reforms, taxation policies, and regulatory treatment to ensure parity and level playing field across all investors to be maintained by India. British investors are keen to partner with the Indian partners, and even they want to deliver intellectual property if India guarantees them adequate protection, commercial compensation for their intellectual property. Ease of doing business area where government is focusing more, but they are pushing more for shorter timelines for approval, consistent, transparent approach across government department, states and regulators for clearances. These are all important. These things very important from our point of view also. Some states there is a huge delay in approval. There are many such unnecessary procedures are there. Those things need to be removed. There are many improvements in the ease of doing business, but however, they are still pressing more for reforms. They will continue work with India, and they will continue work with both the government and UK and India to strong bilateral economic partnerships that improves lives globally. India is most exciting economic story today. India's this century is India's century. So countries join India for greater good. Modi said one statement: the more your friendship depends with India, the more prosperity accrues to both. It is sets tones for shared future. That's what author is telling. Basically, it talks about India and UK. They have to revolve in many other areas. So good article from point of view. From UK also we are facing many issues. Let's see what happens in future. Next article is about GM crops. Recently, two judge benches, Nagaratna Sanjay Karol of Supreme Court of India, they delivered a split verdict on allowing genetically modified mustard crop in farmer field. So far, only GM crop allowed in India is cotton. Cotton crop after planting, farmers gained a lot of benefits. Even agricultural institution, public health health they helped in develop GM seeds, food crops. They even went on to further step to develop a GM seed for rice, wheat, tomato, brinjal, mustard, and all these things. There is a DMH11 Dhara mustard hybrid 11 that was developed by Delhi University of Biotechnology Department. The genes in the plant will make a crop suitable and lucrative for private seed companies making newer hybrid varieties. So these genes will help, like they will be developed by basically private players. So qualified as a GM crop and to be listed finally by the government, they should follow certain India's agricultural system. They must be shown in all three seasons in different agro-climatic zones such as India. They prove themselves consistently better than the existing comparators. Whatever we are presently growing, it should be better than that. The trials conducted by Indian Council of Agricultural Research (ICAR), they conduct the DCDMH. They passed all these metrics. However, Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee, a scientific advisory body that advises on Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, they delayed because they want certain test term. Environmental groups, they said that DMH11 is a herbicide tolerant plant. What is herbicide? We are using many such chemicals and all these things. This is the tolerance herbicide, but productivity as well, there is no such issue. That's what environmental group is arguing. Genetically coded in such a way that farmers use certain kind of pesticides. These pesticides, we do not know its impact on the environment. Environment will be fully damaged and entire ecosystem may be damaged. That's what their argument. These findings and GEAC approval, this was made split decision between Aruna Rodriguez organization, split decision in the Supreme Court, and even complaint by Aruna Rodriguez and organization and a gene campaign. The judges disagreed over this thing. Nagaratna disagreed. Justice Nagaratna disagreed, whereas one more judge seems to okay with the Justice Carroll seems to be okay with the processor. Now the judgment goes to larger bench of the India with the Chief Justice of India. There is a the court has given order to central government to formulate policy on GM crops, but so far we haven't formulated policy on GM crops. GM crops is fundamentally like the issue with GM crop is ideological. Basically, whether it damages environment, production related matters later on. So our Indian agricultural system, we are using so many herbicides. These herbicides, they have unintended effect on suppose some bacteria, some viruses are not all viruses are bad. Some bacteria, not all bacteria are bad. They will help some plant in growing. Rhizobium bacteria that resides in land that provides nitrogen to land and it increases the productivity. Such impacts that need to be discussed. Such is the ideological thing. Whatever it may be, the court judgment ought to be considering all these things. They should discuss extensively about the GM crop. The next article is about private consultation. It is not a big article. Recently, Government of India and especially Ministry of Information Broadcasting circulated a bill regarding Broadcasting Services Bill 2023. What is this broadcasting services? You might be knowing about digital media, OTT platform, and their regulation. OTT, there are many such. You might be watching movies also. They have issued guidelines on this thing. Any bill to be passed, those bill first, it will be subjected to public domain. What happens when you put bill in public domain? They will get lot of recommendations, lot of suggestions from people. When these suggestions are incorporated in the bill, so it basically involves all the accommodations on the people, and it helps making diversity in the bill and resolves the that is the purpose of the bill. Now recent bill, private consultation is not being done. These OTT platforms, digital media platforms, they are being omitted. So to make successful bill, their opinions is required. They should be taken under the process. Without their approval, it will not happen. That is the article. Whatever it may be. So fast and hurried consultation, it will lead to flawed justice and exclusion of the legislation. They will not incorporate their views and methods. This is the article. Not much important, but whenever you pass the bill should be kept under public domain, and the important stakeholder, those who are regulating, they should be consulted. Their opinion basically matters. Years and years they are basically working on the same field. Their opinions make bill better, and when bill becomes act, it basically imposes a lot of actions on the people. It is ultimately upon the government whether to include those recommendations or suggestions whatever be given by those stakeholders, but ultimately it will benefit the legislation. So that's it today. Thank you very much for discussion.